Hello, I'm Avis from G-Trade 365, and I will be the master today. Welcome all of the participants from Brunei, Hong Kong, Indonesia, Malaysia, Philippines, Singapore, United States, and Finland. Today, we will talk about how can we facilitate digital trade of ASEAN countries, Hong Kong, and North America. Today's webinar will be recorded. The webinar is now synced on Facebook Live. Our panelists today are Stanley Choi, Operations Director, Global Market of G-Trade 365. Dorothy Bashaw, Executive Vice President, Chef, Customer and Marketing Officer of IMC. Brian Chen, Director of Indonesia, Hong Kong Trade Development Council. Andrew Yao, Executive Director of Indonesia Hong Kong Business Association. April Lam, the founder and managing director of Elo Consulting. We will take questions at the end of the discussion today. You can ask those at any time using the chat box on the function bar downwards on your screen. You can also use that box to let us know any technical difficulties you're having, and someone will help you out with that. With that, I will hand over to Andrew to start our discussion today. Apart from the board member of Indonesia Hong Kong Trade Development Council, he is also the Chief Executive Officer of Branch Market Group e-commerce. He is responsible for development of company's retail strategy, creative platform, financial affairs, and operations. Andrew has extensive years of industry leadership in e-commerce and business-to-business solutions. So let me invite Andrew to give an opening speech to us. Andrew, please.
Thank you, Avis. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon in Asia, in ASEAN, and good morning in North America. Friends from America, ASEAN, and Hong Kong, I think this is a truly honor for me to represent the Indonesian Hong Kong Business Associations, IDHABA, to kick off this amazing event. First of all, I want to thank you to International Market Centers, G-Trade 365, and the Hong Kong Trade Development Council for organizing this event. It is also an honor for IDHKBA to co-organize this event, so welcome all the guests and members. Since 2014, it has been IDHK mission to connect and facilitate networking for our members, especially in bridging Hong Kong and Indonesia. And we're glad to see that despite this challenging time of the year, and we manage to line up businesses not only between Indonesia and Hong Kong, but also we aim at going extra miles by connecting friends from the ASEAN and the Americas. And I'm sure down the road for the next couple of years, together IDHKBA and close partnership with Hong Kong TDC, especially with my very good friend Brian Chen on board as Director of Jakarta office, we hope to facilitate more fruitful events down the road. According to the United Nations Comrade database on international trade earlier this year, Indonesia exports to the US was around $17 billion in 2019. It is one of the top regions and countries in which apparel, rubbers, footwear, electronic equipments, as well as furniture is around the top categories. For 2020, we could anticipate a slight decrease, but in the long run, there could be a significant growth as local businesses are currently looking for more export markets through effective platforms. And I'm sure this webinar today comes in a very timely manner for all our business entrepreneurs and executives here. And speaking of effective platforms, I think we all agree that trading businesses need to go digital and virtual and online with value-adding elements to excel in the market. And I'm sure that all of us would agree that ASEAN, as one of the most fastest growing regions with young populations, e-commerce, internet penetrations, and high GMV growth throughout the past 5 years, that is something that we should not neglect. And I'm very happy to see that our panelists and speakers today are all the veterans in the fields who will be in very good positions to share with all our members how we can capitalize on tools and advantages in this amazing city like Hong Kong could offer to grow our businesses. And I'm sure Hong Kong will be a great platform for capital markets, for service industries. Me, myself, as Avis introduced, is in the e-commerce business. But I always believe that no matter how virtual, how online, how digitalized we could get, The human touch, the close collaboration is the key to success in processing trade between America, ASEAN, and Hong Kong. And I believe this is a new beginning of some very fruitful collaborations here today. So I wish all of you here, all of the speakers and guests, a very fruitful and enjoyable discussions. And of course, personally, I look forward to all the sharings of all the experts today. But most importantly, I hope to meet all of you face to face very soon. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Andrew. Thank you for your such amazing opening speech. We all agree that trading should go on digital, so we're all here. Let me raise a question here. Does anyone would like to enter the North American market? If yes, you may type 1 in the chat box. It seems that not every participant really know much about North American market, but it's okay. We got an expert here to share with us. I believe everyone here is interested in expanding your business to more districts, and North America would be a good target since there is already a mature trading development. So now the Executive Vice President, Chief Customer and Marketing Officer of IMC, Dorothy will share the success factors and key challenges when entering the North American market. She has more than 20 years experience in the home and gift trade show industry. Prior to IMC, Dorothy was the Senior Vice President at George Little Management, serving as a Director of New York International Gift Fair. Therefore, she has gained rich experience and insights in North American markets. Dorothy, please.
Thank you very much. Good morning for me. I'm here in the United States, and it's a good morning for me, and I'm happy to have the opportunity to speak to all of you. My focus today is going to be, as stated, on the gift, home, and apparel industries and the home furnishings industries and how to enter those. Avis, is my presentation going to be live on the screen this morning?
Yeah, you can click the share screen downwards. Do you see a green button?
Yes.
Yeah, and then you can just share the PowerPoint.
If you give me just a moment, I was under the impression that you would be sharing it. So bear with me for one moment, please, while I open the deck. So the gift, home, apparel, and home furnishings industries
we can ask you to share the screen.
Okay. One moment,
please wait a second. Yeah, we're just opening the PowerPoint.
Thank you. Okay, thanks very much. So these four industries intersect here in the United States. Many of these categories and the verticals associated with them are cross-merchandised in the retail setting here in the United States. And together they represent $524 billion in consumer spending. Apparel being the largest of these is $267 billion. Furniture at 104, home decor at 92, and gift at 61. They do intersect in several areas. So, for example, fashion accessories, jewelry, scarves, and the like are sold heavily through both the gift and apparel store channels. Home decor and furniture are both sold heavily through the lifestyle and home furnishings categories. And home decor and gift also intersect in the lifestyle retail category. Within these larger four umbrella categories in the United States, we have a number of sub-verticals, subcategories that are included within them. If you just advance the slide, please. Thank you. Within home furnishings, case goods, upholstery, ready-to-assemble furniture, which is a fast growing subcategory, motion, home textiles, bedding, pillows, wall art, floor coverings, and rugs, lighting, both portable lighting and fixed wire lighting, patio and outdoor furniture, and floral are all vibrant categories within the home furnishings and home decor category. Gift is a large umbrella category here in the United States and includes both holiday and seasonal decor, tabletop, kitchenware, barware, anything sold through the Gourmet Housewares channel, books, paper, novelty plush, fragrance, candle, soap, wellness, and then, of course, toy, game, puzzles, and baby, so anything sold through the juvenile channel. And then apparel is focused predominantly on fashion accessories, jewelry, shoe, menswear, bridal, and social occasion, fast fashion and young contemporary, and then now the explosive growth of athleisure. The apparel channel is sold in the United States both through branded retail destinations, but also through cross-brand specialty stores in the apparel category. So there's a lot of opportunities to be successful within these larger umbrella categories in entering the United States. Probably the largest challenge around the United States is the fact that it is so large and the audience is quite fragmented and highly regionalized. There are a number of very, very large buyers, many of those noted on your right. So mass merchants, many of whom will direct import and produce their own lines. And then specialty chains such as Anthropologie and West Elm and the like. And then the vast majority of the retail opportunity here in the United States, roughly 80%, is made up of independent specialty stores, which would be single or maybe two doors, and they're highly regionalized. International Market Centers at present has about 900,000 buyers in our database across North America, 400,000 of which are active. We welcome about 200,000 of those buyers to our various markets across the country annually, and they include a wide variety of retailers. In addition to retailers, it also includes interior designers. Interior design and architecture in the United States has become a very strong influencing factor when consumers are making decisions to buy. And so they've become an increasingly important channel here in the United States. I just want to help everybody to understand what's going on here in the United States since the pandemic began and since the United States began to come out of the pandemic. Stores opened and trade began again at markets here in the US. International Market Centers, we've been producing shows and markets since June. We shut down and closed our doors for the months of March, April, and May, but last June a year ago, began the process of producing markets again. The line charts on the left side of the screen here represent furnishings sales in the blue. The green, or furniture rather, case goods and upholstery is the blue. Home furnishings, home decor, and accessories is the green, and apparel is the red. The gift industry, because it is so vast and includes so many different categories of retail, is not as well represented. There's not as much universal data available. But what we can say is that gift sales are recovering rapidly, and some verticals are fully recovered and actually are performing, pacing stronger than prior to the pandemic, such as kitchenware, housewares, and anything related to inside of the home. Fashion accessories and fast fashion athleisure have fully recovered because although most of the United States has been working remotely for the last 15 months, fast fashion has continued to perform well. High-end apparel has been slower to recover, but as companies recall their staffs to work in the office, we believe that will begin to recover as well. Home furnishings is actually outpacing pre-pandemic levels by quite a bit. It's been an incredibly robust year for the home furnishings and home decor industry as people have remained in their homes. And right now, of course, our biggest issues around home furnishings are with the supply chain. Getting merchandise produced, getting it on the water, and then getting it transported to warehouses here in the United States. So I want to just talk a little bit about the importance of the omni-channel approach in thinking about how you enter the US market. As Andrew said, the key to successful trade really is a combination of both the physical and the digital. And while the digital is gaining in importance, one thing we've learned over the last year, and as we've welcomed buyers back to our physical markets, is that they are still very, very important methods of connecting buyers and sellers here in the United States, particularly in the gift, home, and apparel industries, which are so fashion-oriented and not highly commoditized. So we do recommend a truly channel agnostic or omni-channel approach to entry into the US market. I will talk to you more about the role that digital plays and how to approach it, but it's important to enter the market both physically through markets and trade shows, through distribution across the United States, which again is so fragmented. It's important to have representation in each of the key geographic regions in the United States: the West, the Midwest, the Southeast, the Northeast, and TOLA, which is Texas, Oklahoma, Louisiana, and Alabama. And then, of course, e-commerce marketplaces, which are growing significantly and rapidly in terms of the percentage of overall annual sales that they represent. Markets and trade shows, however, are really important in establishing your brand and also generating credibility and strong relationships with retailers here in the US. So it is important to have that physical introduction, and through that physical introduction at markets and trade shows, to secure representation across the United States with distributors or multi-line sales agencies. That enables you to have focused representation in key territories and to have the support of sales representatives on the road as they reach out to buyers in their region to secure repeat orders and to drive larger average order volumes. With markets and trade shows, you'll pay an upfront investment in either a long-term lease in a permanent showroom, in a permanent market center, or show fees in a temporary trade show. Agencies and distributors tend to be commission-based. Generally, 15% of sales will go to a sales agency in exchange for their representation and marketing support throughout the course of the year. And then e-commerce marketplaces, which today are typically charging a transactional fee of anywhere from 10 to 20% per transaction, or a monthly subscription fee. E-commerce marketplaces can provide new account generation over the course of the year, but again, important for your brand to be established at some level in the marketplace to support any commerce that is conducted either digitally or physically. So let me talk to you a little bit about how IMC approaches the business and a little bit about our history. We connect buyers and sellers, and today we're connecting them physically. Later this year, we will be launching a full digital marketplace, so we'll be able to connect our buyers and sellers digitally as well on a year-round basis. We are the center of commerce for the furniture, gift, home decor, and apparel industries here in the United States. We bring buyers and sellers together from across the United States, North America, and the world in what we believe to be the most effective, efficient, and compelling platforms, both physical and digital. We help manufacturers and distributors to reach retailers and buyers and to build new sales relationships, introduce new trends, discover new products and new buying channels, and to really establish the opportunity to conduct trade. We have exceptional experience across our organization. Many of our senior executives have been in the industries that we serve for 15 to 25 years, and we provide what we believe to be exceptional service. We are known in the industry for the service that we provide in really helping our customers to reach and to develop strategies to reach the broadest distribution channels possible. We're truly consultative in our approach to those relationships. We have We just celebrated our 10-year anniversary. International Market Centers was formed in 2011 with the acquisition of 13 buildings in the High Point Furniture Market and the World Market Center in Las Vegas through funding from Bain Capital and Oaktree Capital. Over the course of the next 6 years, we underwent a multi-million-dollar capital plan to improve our infrastructure in High Point. We also acquired several more buildings and built a new building in High Point, servicing the home furnishings channels. We launched the gift and housewares categories in Las Vegas and added an additional 700,000 square feet of showroom space in our 3 buildings there. And then in 2017, we were sold by Bain Capital and Oaktree Capital to Blackstone. And Blackstone has been an investor and partner for the last 3.5 years. Under Blackstone's ownership, we acquired the Americas Mart in Atlanta and the Atlanta Decorative Art Center in Atlanta in 2018. And we also secured the casual furnishings market, which will launch in 2023 in Atlanta. That's for outdoor and patio furniture. And then just this past year, we opened a new 315,000 square foot expo center in Las Vegas to support our trade show presentation there. So I think what's most notable about our real estate ownership is that, as you'll see, we are based on 2 coasts, the West Coast and the East Coast. East Coast in High Point in Atlanta, West Coast in Las Vegas. And across those 3 destinations, we own 20 million square feet of permanent showroom space and about 800,000 square feet of temporary trade show exhibit space. And we also, as I mentioned earlier, have really unique access to the largest and most influential buyers, but also to the vast network of independent specialty stores across the United States of anyone in our industry. That's the 900,000 that we have in our database, 400,000 of which are active on an annual basis. Our property is divided relatively evenly across the 3 venues, and we produce a number of markets in each venue. 2 in particular in Las Vegas. We produce closer to 10 in Atlanta now, and then 4 in High Point. So if trying to reach the United States, the combination of all of our properties and trade shows allows you fully national exposure, as well as exposure to Canada, to Mexico, and to Central and South America, as about 11% of our attendance comes to us internationally with heavy concentration from North and South and Central America. Our attendance there's very little overlap between our markets, less than 10%. So by participating in all 3 of the venues, you really have a rich opportunity to reach the entire North American continent. So now to talk a little bit about how digital participates in reaching the US market. You'll see in this bar chart, the darker blue represents the mix of trade in 2016. And then as you move through to the lighter shade of blue, the data moves to 2017, 2018, and 2019. So in 2016, the balance of order volume over the course of a year for US-based manufacturers is about 42% sold through sales representatives throughout the course of the year. Now those sales are happening on the road. They'll go specifically to retail stores to sell or over the phone. And then 30% essentially was happening at trade shows. So orders written directly at the trade show. Important to note that a lot of the 42% that's happening on the road is happening as a result of relationships established at the trade shows. So most companies would tell you that roughly 60 to 70% of their annual sales will happen at or because of relationships made in a trade show. What I think is most important to call out here, though, is the growth of online digital business-to-business wholesale trade, which in 2016 comprised about 22% of annual sales, and then in 2019 up to 34%. What we've seen in the last year is that 34% has climbed up closer to 40 to 45%. So beyond B2B markets, we find that omnichannel really is essential. Buyers do prefer the combination of face-to-face and online purchasing. They want to speak to a salesperson and touch and feel when they're researching a new product or service. So for buyer acquisition, face-to-face is quite important. But in support of repeat purchases of products with new or different specifications, it's a mix. It's really 50-50 face-to-face or digital. And I think, digital is playing obviously a much larger role in repeat purchases during this pandemic. Only about 15% feel that they need personal support when they're making a repeat purchase, which means that a digital platform really can support 85% of repeat purchases online without any personal influence from a sales representative. So the platform that we're developing is designed to support both our core market business and extend those physical relationships that are established, but also to drive year-round lead generation and new customer acquisition. So overall, our digital platform will significantly enhance the ongoing ROI, return on investment, for our customers. So post-COVID, this is really how we see selling strategies shift. About 55% are meeting with customers face-to-face, still in the field. 46%, and this is before COVID, we're doing sales by phone, 52% online support, 46% e-commerce. So doesn't add to 100% because, of course, everybody really is conducting business in all of these channels all of the time. There is no sort of either or situation. You really need to be in all of the channels. But today, those percentages are shifting. So 21% of our buyers during COVID or as we come out of the pandemic are participating in markets. In the last 2 months, we've seen those percentages increase to about 60%, and we expect back to about 90% by the beginning of 2022. Still about 40% conducting sales by phone, but here you'll see that the online support and e-commerce has grown significantly. So the digital has grown significantly during the pandemic to 62% and 51%. But again, everyone is utilizing all of the channels. So IMC's digital platform is branded as Juniper, and it includes both a personalized approach to B2B commerce and then a multi-line, many-to-many approach. The personalized approach is through Juniper Commerce. These are software as a service platforms that support a brand's outreach to many buyers, but it's a proprietary site. So this would be a proprietary B2B website that is transactional. It would include all of the back-end product information management support through Juniper Data, and then a sales application for representation on the road. So for individual sales representatives to take on the road to process sales and transactions. And then it also includes a customer relationship management platform, a CRM, to help manage your leads, manage your relationships, and also to secure business information and analytics around your sales throughout the course of the year. So with Juniper Commerce, our customers can support their buyers both at market, on the road, and online 365 days a year. And all of these applications are live today and are in use today by many of our customers. And then later this year, we will launch Juniper Market. We'll have a beta launch in August and then a full-scale launch closer to the end of the year. We believe today we have already 20,000 buyers registered to participate on the marketplace when it goes live. We expect that number to climb rapidly, upwards of 100,000 probably within its first 18 months. And we have roughly 12,000 lines that we work with at IMC, and we expect the majority of those to take advantage of the platform over the course of the next few years. Juniper Market is agnostic, so while we will give preferential pricing to anyone that participates in our live physical markets. We'll allow any B2B seller to participate on the platform for either a subscription fee or for a commission. So we're looking to connect buyers and sellers globally, even if they cannot physically interact at our trade shows. We think it'll be a robust opportunity for new business acquisition and also for continued commerce over the course of the year. So when thinking about entering the US market, there are some specific challenges and considerations, and these really have remained consistent over the years. To begin with, you have to consider your export market and channel distribution strategy. Are you trying to distribute nationally through the US? Are you going to focus on the West? Are you going to focus on the Northeast? And what methods, what types of channels are you looking to penetrate? Are you looking to penetrate the mass merchant channel, or are you looking at the specialty channel? Do you want to focus on a specific vertical, either based on apparel, gift, or home furnishings, or are you looking to be in stores that cross-merchandise across a number of verticals? Product development, very, very important. Design is very important here in the United States. Quality of production is important. And a merchandising plan that develops an assortment of product that clusters well together at retail, and that also is responsive to current trends here in the US. Establishing a competitive landed pricing strategy. Not FOB, because there are, with exception of the mass merchants, very few retailers in the United States are positioned to negotiate customs. So the pricing will need to be landed. And then, of course, supply chain management. So how you're going to warehouse here in the United States, find a distributor, find a sales agency to ensure that you can fulfill orders in a timely fashion. And then lastly, customer service and returns, also very important in the United States. Many retailers and B2B wholesalers have very, very robust service programs and return policies and offer aggressive terms to retailers here in the United States. And so I'll close with some of the market resources that exist. And for each of these markets, there is a corresponding digital opportunity through Juniper Market. These are our market dates for the balance of 2021 and into 2022. The Atlanta gift and home markets are in the first column, our apparel markets in the second, our home furnishings markets in High Point, and then our gift, home, and apparel markets in Las Vegas. In addition to international market centers, there are several shows within the gift, home, and apparel verticals that are temporary trade shows, but are also national in their reach. And I would also call your attention to these. The Magic Show, it is the national show for apparel here in the United States. It's held in Las Vegas twice a year. New York Now, held in Manhattan twice a year for the gift industry. Also, they carry some home decor product. Shop Object, which is also a gift and home decor show. This is a highly curated show and includes a number of international pavilions today. And then the Inspired Home Show, which is the housewares and kitchenware show here in the United States. And that's an annual show held in March in Chicago. Thank you for your time today. We are always available at GLM to answer any questions you may have. And as we go live with our digital marketplace, we'll be sure to share that information with GTrade 365 so that you all can take a look. And we certainly will also be scheduling some demonstrations of how to onboard to the platform and how to use it to your fullest advantage as it goes live in the fall. Thank you.
Thank you, Dorothy. Yeah, we look forward to the development of Juniper, and we know there is a really strong supplier base. Maybe we can do some collaboration later.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. We have understood more about the overview of the North American market, and now we move on our focus back to Hong Kong. As we all know, Hong Kong is a famous end port, so trade is one of the major industry in Hong Kong. Let me share some information where our next panelist comes from. The Hong Kong Trade Development Council is a statutory body established in 1966 to promote, assist, and develop Hong Kong's trade. With 50 offices globally, it promotes Hong Kong as a two-way global investment and business hub. So when we talk about trading among ASEAN countries and North America, Hong Kong can become the coordinator of both regions. Therefore, in the coming session, we invite Director of Indonesia-Hong Kong Trade Development Council, Brian, to give us a speech. Brian worked in Hong Kong Trade Development Council, Guangzhou, China office, and oversaw trade promotion events in the development of Guangdong, Hong Kong, Macau, and Greater Bay Area. He has more than 10 years of experience in trade promotion, including business-to-business and business-to-customer exhibition, e-commerce, and international relations. Let me invite Brian to share his view on it. Brian, please.
Thank you, Avis, for the introduction about HKTDC and me myself. Let me share my deck with all of you. So, quite a lot to cover in these 15 minutes, but I will try to briefly make you grasp the concept how Hong Kong can offer our tools and also our advantages in facilitating trade between ASEAN countries and North America. So actually, Avis has briefly introduced the TDC, so I won't go too much further details. So yeah, we have 55 years history, established in 1966. We promote Hong Kong as a two-way investment and business platform. We are one of the major trade fair organizers in Hong Kong, and we have our mandate to promote business for Hong Kong and promote Hong Kong as a business hub. Globally, we have 50 offices. For our ASEAN team, our headquarters is in Bangkok. We also have offices in Malaysia, Singapore, Vietnam, here in Indonesia. We also have offices in New York, LA, Chicago, and Toronto, with our headquarters in Hong Kong. So we are well connected to facilitate trade digitally and also actually physically also for you to do your business. So just to highlight our usual duties include connecting with local government and authorities, as well as the business associations. And like last year, we are so honored to have invited the President, Mr. Joko Widodo, to be our keynote speaker in one of our summits. So second part, I would like to highlight Hong Kong as an entrepreneur. Also, Avis mentioned, actually, for Hong Kong, it developed its role as an entrepreneur for a long time. Some figures here, you can see that in 2020, ranking the second, the economy for imports to Hong Kong actually is ASEAN. You can look at the chart on the left-hand side, which I encircled with orange color. And while the ranking second is the US for domestic exports and re-exports. So actually Hong Kong remains a very important center as an entrepreneur. But for sure, we are not just to handle with the logistics to imports and then exports. It's more on the value-added services and also the well-established channels that we can facilitate trade between not just mainland China, but also like ASEAN countries through Hong Kong to the US and European markets. As both Andrew and also Dorothy mentioned, for sure, there are some categories that are particularly popular, using Hong Kong as a meter point. And from the statistics, you can see that there are 4 to 5 major categories that are topping the list with Hong Kong as an entrepreneur, such as telecommunications and sound recording equipment, jewelry, office machines, and automatic data processing machines. So from the data, you can see that Hong Kong is still a very important hub for you to do trading with the US and also other developed markets. So you may ask why I need to be via Hong Kong when I need to expand my markets. So what Hong Kong can offer, what are the advantages? Some very fundamental points that you can consider when you need to identify a channel or market through which you expand your businesses. This is data from the World Bank that Hong Kong has been ranked very top in some of the major considerations when you need to do business. And Hong Kong are good at international markets, so we can assist manufacturers or entrepreneurs in designing your products, in marketing, in brand building, etc. Many of the MNCs and global conglomerate choose Hong Kong as a regional office, which we also provide free access to many countries. As time goes by, Hong Kong will remain strong as an investment hub for Chinese enterprise to go overseas to invest. And Hong Kong remains a strong logistics hub for trading. And also we have our geographical advantage. Within a short time, you can get to many of the cities in China and Asia. So to facilitate trade, both physical and digital, you can see that we arrange like business delegation to markets and networking events. And even in the pandemic, we try to line up business by online meetings and like magazines that we showcase what are the projects or even products that we can facilitate the business. As mentioned, TDC is one of the major trade fair organizers in Hong Kong. Every year we have over 30 international trade exhibitions in Hong Kong. During the pandemic, we go extra miles by launching the brand new online trade fair, which we call Summer Sourcing Show and also the Autumn Sourcing Week, etc., just to maintain the momentum of the business community that we, our dedicated business matching team, try to explore business for our exhibitors online with the efforts from our headquarters team and also the 50 offices that I mentioned at the very beginning. We will continue to facilitate trade in this format. And I would like to highlight a bit about the business association that we have here. For Indonesia, it's called the Indonesia Hong Kong Business Association. The goal or the objective is more or less the same as TDC, but the activities and the networking sessions that we organize are usually in our casual format, that we welcome businessmen that are interested in Indonesia to join us. So here comes the main part, how TDC can facilitate digital trade between the ASEAN countries and North America. We have established our online trading portal for quite a few years, but during the pandemic, we have spent extra resources and dedicated efforts to upgrade our system, trying to realize more opportunities and materialize more businesses. As we all know, the sourcing habit may change for good even after the pandemic. For physical trade fairs, for sure, we will continue as soon as the situation allows. But when it comes to an online environment, advantage is that you can explore opportunities and communicate with your potential buyers all year round. And as I mentioned, we have over 50 years experience in business matching to line up buyers and suppliers. And also we have 50 offices worldwide. So we upgrade our trade promotion event from a physical exhibition to an online presence simultaneously by using or combining our traditional business matching team and efforts with AI and machine learning technology. We managed to line up more business matching even in the pandemic. As you can see, these are some data that I can share with you for our online portal. We have over 2 million registered buyers and over 130,000 quality suppliers. And as you can see from this chart that actually it is ever increasing for our page view and visits. Just a snapshot about our the online portal from December last year to January this year. On the left-hand side are the 5 top countries and regions for the inquiries of buyers, while on the right-hand side are the geographical distribution of our suppliers. And here are some major product categories that you can find most easily and most popular via our online trade portal. I mentioned that we have spent extra resources and efforts to upgrade our portal. I have a lot more to share speaking about the new features, but I think one of the major features is that we have enabled the online purchase, so that actually if buyers are interested in your products with your own online showroom on our portal, they can actually just purchase online. And we have collaborated with all kinds of fulfillment companies that you can which can facilitate your whole process when doing with the sample selling or even a small order. Okay, so as I mentioned, I won't go too much details because as Andrew mentioned, it's just the beginning for you guys to know more about how Hong Kong can facilitate and how my team can assist and give you maybe some advice or lineup when you're interested to the US or the American market via Hong Kong. So you can see our contact here on the left-hand side. And before you go, just to share with you, TDC has a research team that making research reports and also the statistic analysis on every industries and all the major markets. We have an upcoming webinar also for the e-commerce to the US, which is next week. So if you're interested, welcome to let me or my team know so that we can continue the discussion with all of you. So that's all for my sharing. Thank you once again. Back to you, Avis.
Thank you, Brian. I can really see that Hong Kong Trade Development Council really put a lot of effort to facilitate the trading of Hong Kong. And I believe that like 3 markets can really benefit from the platform. Thank you once again, Brian.
That's true. Thank you, Avis.
We now understand more on the competitive edge of Hong Kong and how Hong Kong can boost the trade development of Southeast Asia country. Maybe still there is a question in your mind that what is the potential of ASEAN countries? I know there are a lot of participants come from ASEAN country. So let me do a poll here. If you come from Brunei, please type 1. If you come from Indonesia, please type 2. If you come from Malaysia, please type 3. If you come from Philippines, please type 4. And if you come from Singapore, please type 5. If you come from Finland, please type 6. Yeah, I saw lots of people like typing they come from Indonesia. Yeah, and also Malaysia and Singapore, there's also a lot of people. Great. Like, I can see that many of you come from Indonesia, and then thank you for your great support. And our next panel is an expert from Indonesia. She is the founder and managing partner of Elo Consulting. April, she will share more information about the overview of Indonesian market. She has advised Fortune 500 SMEs and startup companies across APAC during her 20 years of career. She started doing business with Indonesian companies since 2007, and then lived in Indonesia and Finland for more than 5 years. Therefore, April is frequent to share her ASEAN and retail experience when she witnessed the rapid growth of ASEAN region. April, please.
Thank you, Avis, and thank you for the organizer, G-Trade 365, and IMC for organizing this webinar today. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone from everywhere around the world. Such a great opportunity to speak to you. I'm originally from Hong Kong, but I'm based in Bali, Indonesia right now. Everyone, when you think of Bali, you think it's a travel paradise destination, but there are more to that. This is exactly the reason why I'm here. I see a lot of business opportunities for every one of you here. So next, I think before I talk about the opportunities, I want to know what is your perception on Indonesian consumers? Because especially in where we come from, Hong Kong, our perception on Indonesian consumers is pretty much formed by the Indonesian domestic helper, and we think that's all Indonesian look like. Is that right? And what do you think? I'm not sure what do you think, but what I actually see in Indonesia right now, I see consumers who look like this and this. So there are different types of Indonesians. Some of them, and the new one that most sellers want to target, brands want to target, are the middle class. They are well-traveled, well-educated. They want quality products, they like brands, and they keep looking for anything from anywhere around the world. And 77% of the Indonesian population were actually born in 1980 and afterwards, meaning they're so young. They are very adaptive to any type of digital platforms, digital payment. Of course, they're very social media savvy. They look for products and brands from digital platform, and they like hanging out. The social factor is very strong. So how does it lead to how we understand this market is exactly what I would like to talk about. How do they behave, and what should we do as a brand, as a seller, how to target at them? And I'm sure many of you would have known that Indonesia is going to be the 4th largest economy in the world very, very soon. If we just look at the middle class size of this country, there are 50 million of them, which is like Hong Kong, Singapore, and Malaysia population combined. And even, for example, I'm selling very luxury product and I would only target at the top 3% of the population. We're talking about 8 million people. So there is always potential for your products, no matter what it is, where it comes from, whatever the price points are. And by maximizing the adoption of digitalization in this part of the world. And of course, Brian also mentioned a bit of this, is that Jakarta government, the Indonesian government, and the current president, Jokowi, he is one of the most ambitious leaders in ASEAN. And he has launched a lot of reformation, new policies to encourage foreign investment and to make all the public policy a lot easier for foreigners. And of course, there are so many resources built around this Indonesian ecosystem. There's TDC, Hong Kong Productivity Council, different business chambers, And these resources are so much more proactive versus when I first visited Indonesia, it was back in 2007. I could see this rapid development will favor a lot of business owners. And when we talk about Indonesia, ASEAN, people immediately think about e-commerce. So I will still do a bit of going through the figures and so that you know a bit of the background. So ASEAN overall during pandemic has grown so much, actually 6 times in terms of the e-commerce size. And among these countries, Indonesia and Vietnam are leading the growth. And probably most of you have heard about Lazada. There are also a lot of local players, Bukalapak, Tokopedia, and Shopee you might have heard of. And just Lazada itself, during the pandemic, the number of active users increased by 10 million just during that short period of time. So the growth in ASEAN, in Indonesia, is just crazy, and not many countries can offer that. And not only because of this e-commerce and not just the players benefit, the other companies, especially fintech startups that provide services relating to this would benefit. And here I give you an example of an Australian startup that provide cash on delivery services to complement the opportunity gap of these e-commerce platforms. And so I think all in all, we could just say that pandemic has a big impact. However, it has brought so much more opportunities to Indonesia. And Dorothy mentioned something very similar, and I got a smile on my face. Yes, it's so true that a lot of sellers, they are forced to use e-commerce. They're limited to e-commerce during the pandemic time, but it actually brings them a lot more sales, and that's amazing. And I want to show you a bit more about Indonesia just by looking at these 2 tables, and they're so graphical, it helps us to understand. The one on the left is about offline, on the right is about online. If we look at offline, the biggest retail companies by market capitalization, 3 out of 10 are Indonesian companies. We might not have thought about it, right? We might think maybe there's something from Hong Kong, from Singapore. And these 2, number 8, number 9, are convenience store. Number 10 is like a home improvement and household item store, kind of like Japan City from Hong Kong. So they're actually of huge size and would work together with your omni-channel plan when you want to sell your products to Indonesia. Besides the marketplace, please also consider these offline platforms. On the online side, there is the social commerce going on. Live streaming and live shopping is going to be the mainstream of e-commerce over here, with Indonesia leading the growth. This is a very typical, we call it warung in Indonesian, which means small stall. And you see it everywhere in Indonesia, in many provinces. What is so exciting about this is they're so small size. Sometimes they're mobile because they are built on a truck, on a van. They sell, you see, Indomie, crackers, drinks, and sometimes maybe cigarettes. And what's so interesting about this is that there are, and we call this micro SMEs. There are 60 million of micro SMEs in Indonesia. It's a huge number, right? However, more than 60% of them are unbanked. They don't have a bank account. They have no idea about digital payment. So the adoption of digital payment, digital platform right now among these warung is only 16%, which means there's so much more room for them to grow. And once they grow, it means opportunities for sellers, for manufacturers to connect your products with them, because these people will be able to do their procurement at a fair price at a higher speed through just an app. They'll be able to find you as long as they adopt this. So here you see Warung Pintar is actually a program run by a company that's a startup, a technology company that try to connect these traditional sellers with a digital platform, helping them with procurement, helping them with setting up the payment, or even starting with the very basic, help them to build a presence on Google Maps so that buyers can find them. This is a very exciting opportunity. So just now we mentioned the convenience store, we talk about the traditional trade, we talk about e-commerce. Don't forget about these small stores. They are also opportunities for you. So to conclude a bit about all these digital transformation, the impact is very strong on SMEs. They help to connect the lower income people, of course, middle class as well. They empower women from the rural areas so that they could start business very easily. And it also helped to facilitate startups. So all these growth would facilitate a lot of opportunities for the fintech as well, the education tech, cybersecurity, and other types of e-commerce services. And everybody are pushed to be more creative, more innovative, or have to be competitive. Indonesia is such a dynamic market. And now I want to tell you more about how consumers shop here, especially the younger ones. And you see all these beautiful photos. You might know that this is Blackpink from Korea, super famous. And these are some live streaming channels by locally in Indonesia. And here people don't just watch live streaming on YouTube, TikTok, they do more than that. They have so many channels that keep them entertained the whole time. So these are the trends that if we run omni-channel program, we have to make sure that we are on all these. And in the selling process, there would also be entertainment element, there would be gaming, there would be socializing component, and there would be chances to connect with these celebrities and influencer endorsement. This is exactly what's going on in Indonesia right now, and the trend is leading the region. A lot of times my clients ask me, so what should I sell to Indonesia? What do people like there? And I pull this out from Shopee from their Singles Day Big Sale. I think it's such a good explanation within one page. These are the best sellers: the beauty, baby maternity, toys, gadgets, wellness, and these are what people like here. So if you have these products, do try to hurry up, take some action, and enter Indonesia. And I also want to bring a point is that when we think of Indonesia, we usually think about, I'm going to invest there, I'm going to sell my products there. Don't forget, Indonesia is so rich in natural resources, agricultural products, furniture, household items, decorative items, and Indonesia could be a very good sourcing hub for you to bring the resources here while leveraging the platforms like TDC's platform or the other connections in Hong Kong. Make Hong Kong the super connector, help the Indonesian products to reach out to the world, and use your branding skills. Like, I'm sure a lot of you, especially from America, you're very good with building brands. So how do we integrate all these good skills and do trades both inbound and outbound? So that's all of my presentation, a very brief introduction about ILO Consulting. We are a business consulting company. We have teams in both Hong Kong and Indonesia and representatives in Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand, and Vietnam. We help consumer brands to enter ASEAN market on both online and offline levels. If you're interested to know more, please scan this QR code, connect us, and talk to our consultant. We offer a 30-minute free consultation. We would love to know how we can help you to enter ASEAN. Thank you.
Thank you, April. Okay, it is good to see that, like, participant today, you can enjoy a free consulting service from April. Yeah, just go ahead. And I believe that it is happy for Dorothy to see that there is Indonesia is a good sourcing place. They are good at producing furniture, and then yeah, maybe we can see Indonesian furniture listed on IMC later. I'm also impressed by the Small Doggo Digital. Yeah, I really agree that there are lots of opportunity around us. Yeah, thank you, April, anyway. I believe all of you has a clear view on the trade of ASEAN countries, Hong Kong and North America now. Under the digital age, what can we do to boost the digital trade to maximize the development of the company? Maybe there are a few ways pop up in your mind now. So one more activity now. Have you tried to list your product on e-commerce platform? If yes, you can type 1 in the chat box. Yeah, I believe that there must be many companies tried before. Let's see the result. Yeah, I see a lot of you type 1 here. Yeah, so many of you have experienced how a digital platform works, and I believe that you have also faced difficulties on it. Therefore, the Operations Director Global Market of G-Trade 365, Stanley, will discuss on what we can do better if we would like to trade online in this market. G-Trade 365 is a world trade platform headquartered in Hong Kong, integrating business-to-business import and export services. The mission of G-Trade 365 is to create values and promote a better future of the world through innovation. It is hoped to achieve a global connection with blockchain and facilitate trade all over the world. And on SaaS platform in North America, Asia, Pacific, and Great China region, Stanley has more than 15-year experience in managing of this regional business. And also he has 10 years experience on e-commerce industry. He has worked with Alibaba and PayPal. The revenue of North American region has grown 673%, and the revenue of PayPal has grown 36% under his management. With his deep understanding on e-commerce platform, he will share how to work smart in digital trade. Stanley, please.
Okay, thank you. Okay? Thank you, Amos, for your introduction. Okay, before I start my presentation, let me ask our guests, and then including Dorothy, including April, and all of our guests. If I say e-commerce will be more common in both a B2B and B2C market in the next 5 to 10 years, do you agree? If you agree, can you press 1? Right. Okay. Yes, absolutely. That is very true. Let me show about some figures regarding the B2B, regarding the e-commerce trend. And then over the past 7 years, from year 2013 to year 2019, the global B2B e-commerce GMV, it has been incremented 110% in the last 7 years, from $5 trillion into $12 trillion. So that is from the B2B picture. But how about in B2C pictures? And then in the right-hand side, you will see that in over the past 11 years, and then the retail e-commerce sales, and then in worldwide, and then it has been growth 380% in the last 11 years, from 1.3 trillion into 6.3 trillion, expected in 2024. So we can see that, that e-commerce will be a very trendy. No wonder you are doing the B2B business or B2C business. So maybe as as a supplier, as a customer, maybe we have a question. Hey, Stanley, so should I build up my own website, or should I join some marketplace to expand my e-commerce business? So from the around 10 years experience from e-commerce, I would say both. Both ways will be benefits for you. No wonder you have ability to build up your own website or join as a marketplace. This is some way, and then which can help your business to develop in the e-commerce industry. Brian, before that, is share about some information about Hong Kong. So if I ask April and then about Hong Kong, of course you will think about that. Hey, I'm so missing of the Chinese food, like the Chinese dim sum, and then you will missing the dining of Lan Kwai Fong or Soho areas, right? But if I ask about Dorothy, maybe you will think that Hong Kong is a city in North Asia and the Greater China region, and then with a many business with a U.S. company. Yes, it's all true. What is your impression about Hong Kong? Actually, Hong Kong, we are the world, one of the fierce, we are the fierce economy for the last 25 years. Hong Kong is achieved a top weighting and the only economy to score 90 points or more in year 2019. Also, difference with another countries, Hong Kong, the tax system is very low and very simple. And then mainly our tax will be coming from the salary tax. And then some new tax is about the not much, but maybe investment. We have some stock market tax. But other than that, we don't have any sales tax. We don't have any VAT. We don't have any capital tax or estate tax, etc. So Hong Kong is very simple and very low tax system. Hong Kong is under the free trade agreements, one of the members under the FTAs too. So, and also Hong Kong, and then in the world merchandise trade, and then the rankings is ranking number 8 in worldwide, of course, and then Great China region, China will be ranking the top, and US will be the second, and then they are all the priority in the market, and then will be some European countries and also Japan, but Hong Kong is rating number 6. But before that, and then Hong Kong is increasing from ranking number 8 to number 6 from year 19 to year 2020s. When we say about that, hey, and then how's the Hong Kong relations or business relations with ASEAN market or with US market? What do you think? Actually, Hong Kong was ASEAN, the number 6 largest merchandising trading partner in 2019, year 2019. And ASEAN was Hong Kong the second largest trading partner in year 2019. Of course, and then US is still the Hong Kong the first major largest trading partners, and then while ASEAN will be ranking number 2. And then the total merchandise trade volume between Hong Kong and ASEAN, it is talking about it's almost 1.02 trillion Hong Kong dollars, and they're representing 12.1% of the total Hong Kong global merchandise trade in year 2019. And in between, and then over the last 5 years, the annual average growth rate, which is about 5.4%. And then you can also see that regarding the Hong Kong major import categories from ASEAN into Hong Kong, that is including the consumer electronics, electronic machinery, abacus, office machines, telecommunications, etc. While from Hong Kong export categories to ASEAN, that will be including tobacco, jewelry, etc. products. Then what about North America or United States and Canada? You can see that in year 2019, about 41 billion represent around 8% of the total trade between the United States and mainland China was brought to Hong Kong. Of course, Hong Kong, we have a direct business with North America, but we all understand that in the last 2 years, and then we suffering the COVID-19 and also suffering some side effect from the trade war in between US and China. But Hong Kong is still got something route through in between the United States and mainland China. And then you can see that the major trade categories, including telecommunications, electronic machinery, jewelry, and other office machines. And then Hong Kong is the US number 3rd largest market for the wine export, and also for the beef and beef products, that is the number 4, the 4th largest market. And also for the agriculture and related products, Hong Kong is US the 9th largest market. For Canada, is another story, and then but still have around 3.4 billion, which is about 4% of the total trade between China and Canada was rolled to the Hong Kong. And then regarding the major trade categories that including apparel, telco products, some power, meat, and some fish products. And for Hong Kong is Canada's the number 3rd largest export market in the world for semi-precious stones, and also the 4th largest market for fish and seafood. Yes, and then Hong Kong, and then which means that Hong Kong and North America and also ASEAN, and then we have very, very close business relations here. So how we can build up the close relationship across Hong Kong, ASEAN, and North American market, or how we can build up a platform to let all the customers into that marketplace, and then they have lead generation, business inquiries. Think about that. And then before, I think most of the people, and then what we will do, every year we have a budget, and then we go for traveling. We go to attend the worldwide exhibition, and then just like Hong Kong, in Hong Kong we have over 100 events annually in Hong Kong. However, unfortunately, under the COVID-19, these and has been give us a very great transformation and change a little bit, because and then we cannot travel, and then most of the events has been rescheduled. Therefore, how do the people they find the new business, or how they can do the business? They can just do the cold call to find out the new customers. They send email, or they send out some brochure to connect with new customers. However, is it very effective? No, because that will be very high customer acquisition cost, and then the staff, and then they need to make cold call anytime, and then that will create another manpower fee, and also, and then that's a long lead time, because when you send an email or when you send a brochure, you don't know who is the decision maker. You need sometimes to watch the decision maker, and then you need to build a trustworthy and everything. And then maybe someone will say, "Hey, we wait for the we all understand that the COVID-19 one day will be recovered, and then we can go to the event again." Yes. However, I tell you about that now, like in Hong Kong, while most of our daily case has been well controlled, but in this year, 99 out of 144 events planned for May 2021 have already been rescheduled, and then to later this year, or even though will be the next year, even though 13 of them has been cancelled. So it is some numbers to let them know, hey, that is very uncertain. If we are planning to go back to the expo and then to try to find the new customers, we don't know when it will be totally well recovered. So what should we do now under the digital era? And then most of the people, most of the company, the merchandising term, and then they will transform, and then they build experience, build their buying habit experience into the online marketplace. It's one B2B marketplace will be one of the solutions let the customers to do it. How's GTrade 365 different with another platform, or how GTrade 365 can help the customers to solve their pain point? Firstly, we are the 24x7 crowd exclusion, and then we just like exclusion, but we are the online crowd base. We let our customers, the wonders you are buyer, your suppliers, and then you can come anytime. You can do your lead generation. You can check with your you can check with the pricing, make comparison, or even though you can check with your competitors, who is your competitors in the market, and then also, and then we have a quality assurance with the big data, as well as we provide a one-stop solution with a comprehensive ecosystem, which I will share in later. So, what is the success factors of global B2B platform? Of course, I think most of the our guests, you think about, of course, should be with a lot of the customers inside, very good traffic, very good conversion, and then very good excellent customer service. Yes, this is, but this is, I think that this is will be the basic elements. For GTrade 365, we are more than what I described. Firstly, we are the SaaS platform, and then for the global marketplace. Secondary, our website is full of compliance. We well utilize, and then we use our partners' technology, and then which we can protect our customer data and under the international standard. Thirdly, our website, we provide very good big data in terms of the extensive global buyers, and also we provide a certified supplier space, which means that all the suppliers' reputation are they qualified the international standard. We all provide that big data to the customers. And in addition, we have the unique ecosystem. We provide a one-stop solution, not just only the business matching, but after the business matching, if you need cross-border payment, if you need logistics service, if you need marketing or lead generation service, even though custom clearance and then the certification, etc., and then our unique ecosystem can support our customers to do so. Last but not least, and then we have the O2O combined O2O exhibitions and events, We have different partners from in Hong Kong, China, or in regional, and then we have different members, and then they are coming from the executions, which means that we combine all together. So G365, we align the world trades together. Firstly, what is standing? What do you mean of a SaaS platform? It is very technical, and then I don't understand what is the feature of your marketplace providing when compared with another service provider. Actually, and then we have the trade, and then we are focused on the cross-border B2B e-commerce platform. And also, this is 24 times 7, 365 days per year, and powered by the cutting-edge technologies. We bring together the global buyers, sellers, and online executions together to help the customers to do the business trade in more effective and efficiency manner. And then, of course, and then from our customers, we have, for example, some of our customers coming from wine industry, some of them coming from F&B industry, some of them coming from oil manufacturing, and then some of them coming from the food, and then some of them coming from the beauty products, and etc., etc. In terms of categories, that is, we have providing a wide range of categories. And also, all the manufacturing and product information, we are very visible and then also very detailed. And then, in addition, we provide a customization service for our inquiries, which means that if the potential buyers, they would like have any customization of their products, our supplier can fulfill the requirement. Of course, we are well utilized of our technology. We have the chatbot function, we have the smart contract function, we provide cross-border payment, we have the order management system, we have the analysis of the big data, plus the one-stop solutions. Also, like live streaming, like us, now we are doing the live streaming. We have different categories and we have different features from our platform. On the right-hand side, that is our unique ecosystem. It is coming from our Tone one-stop solution service. No wonder you need any marketing or brand consultation in overseas, whether China or locally, we can help you. If you need any industry certificate, we have partners who can serve you. If you have any inquiry on the export insurance service, we can help you. Sourcing, supply chain finance, AI matching, custom declaration, logistics, and cross-border payment. Our unique ecosystem can we are providing a one-stop solutions to take care of the B2B business. No wonder from the matching, lead generation, inquiries, even though after the matching, the one-stop solution to help them to arrange for shipment, payment, everything. Secondary is website compliance. That is very, very important. I think, Dorothy, you will be agreed, and then in as well as in U.S. market, the people will be very concerned how the customer data will be used by the company, and then they will, and also in U.S., even though there are some laws and regulations will limit the company how they use the customers' data. Yes, and then from this website, we can see that most of the regional data regulations are becoming very commonplace. In ASEAN, like Thailand, like Singapore, the maximum penalty you can see this is the amount equivalent to the US dollar. If the company they cannot provide any support, how they can well protect the privacy data from the customers. Europe, US, and then Canada, that the penalty will be much huge. Even though, like in US, there are different laws and regulations, will be limited to the company how they can well use, how they can protect the customers' data. But indeed, and then from some survey, and then in globally, and then 81% of the interviewees, they are very concerned. They don't trust how the company will use the data, and then which means that they think about that they may facing some potential risk of the data collection by the companies. And then even though 80% of the interviewers they care about the privacy, their own data, how to use, or the data of other members of society, and then that is the majority of the people they are concerning. So from our website, I was telling all of you that no wonder due to AI, to do the business matching, We are the website, we are very over transformative cross-border B2B e-commerce experience. Because from our website, we use what our partner is SAP. They provide us the cloud and data processing support, which means that all the customer data, which are based on the industry standards and the compliance and regulation requirements, and also it will be aligned by all data protection and privacy relevant laws worldwide. For example, if customers say, Stanley, if I am living in the US, if I have any question about how G365, you can treat my personal data, and then for us, and then we will ask for our partner SAP to issue this global certificate, and then we can go back to the customer, say, hey, Mr. Customers, no worry, and then your data has been certified, and then and also collected legally by SAP. So this is a certificate to prove that your data will be under compliance and under fulfill the regulation requirements. Even though if the customers they go to the law and then they apply to the local law in US to show, and then we can also to use that certificate to prove that hey, we are all protect the customer data policy. That is very, very common in the next 5 to 10 years when I say that the e-commerce trend is very, very common. So G365, we also provide that very transformative information. Thirdly is big data. I think that every customers and then they will say, hey, if I go to marketplace, your question may be asked, how can I trust the supplier? Are they all the real products? And I think that is very common, and then all people they will ask for. So I will say that and then for us, and then we have our customer base. We have coming from different partners, and then for example, some of them are coming from the local associations, some of them are coming from the legal associations, even though some of them are coming from the regional associations members. And then also when the customers and then they go to our website, they would like to be our customers, I will say, okay, wait a minute, Mr. Customers, and then we need to go through our professional check with you first. We have two of the worldwide leading certificate company, and then they will be certified about the suppliers, about the customers. For example, they will check about how's their capital verification, and then how's their factory inspection, and then is it something, and then they can, and is it exactly matched, and then they will send consultants to those factory and company to have the local investigation. After the investigation, they will issue a certificate, a joint certificate with G365 to mention that, hey, this customers has been verified, checked, and that we highly recommend these customers. Or we will, if something is incorrect, they will say, okay, these customers, we have some limitations, and then because their information is not exactly matched, we have some data. That data is very important because from overseas suppliers, from the overseas suppliers, what they understand is they will be based on the customer reputation. For example, when we go to some local, like in Hong Kong, and then one of the local mall is called HKTV Mall. If the customers, we go to that products, I will say that I will check, is it this product is good? How's the customer feedback of this product? It is the same in B2B areas, and then when the customers, they go into our website, and then they will see, oh, these suppliers, and then how's their reputation, how's their background, how's their ability to handling the international trading. So that kind of the big data from our website will be provided to the customers. Everything will be very visibility and very open. This is regarding our 10 core values, which is about, I mentioned about the ecosystem. And you will see that under those partners, we shared some of you before, but in this February, but you can see now we have much more about different partners in here. For example, like customs, we are working with the local government, and then we provide this Bank of China will mainly provide the local supply chain finance. Logistic, we have ASEAN Logistic, we have Li and Thung Logistic, which is they are very strong networking in Europe and also in North America, and also Scammer Logistic, they are very flexible, provide very good flexibility service, and very strong in US and ASEAN and Hong Kong market. Singapore Post and then Quantum Solutions, they are very good in the B2C levels in Hong Kong to worldwide. And then warehousing, and then we have Li and Thung and other partners, even though they provide the cloud data warehousing. For the insurance, we have another partners. For the taxation, we have KPMG. For the technology and compliance, as I mentioned, that we have SAP. For the certificate, we use the BV and SGS. For the payment, we have PayPal and Payoneer from the US payment company, and also we have Asia Pay. And then for some brand consultant, we have different and other partners in here. And also, and then April is one of our strategic partners too. So we can see that all of our partners, they are very well-known, sizable, and also very experienced in B2B and B2C areas. As I mentioned in earlier slide, and that we have different O2O exclusions and events linked together because, and that we are only partner or working with the official expo. For example, in China, we have Canton Fair. We have a China ASEAN Expo, who is our official partners. We have Silenium Expo too. So that's why we would like to work with those exclusions event, because we can at least guarantee that their customers, they have experience to doing the cross-border business. And also we have a basic control to protect our customers when they're sourcing the suppliers, that they are qualified and they have the ability, and then suppliers which handling the B2B cross-border business. This is another event, and then on 21st of May, and then 3 weeks ago in Hong Kong, and then we invite different partners, and then we have a section sharing about the cross-border supply chain seminar. Some of them are coming from banking industry, payment industry, logistic industry, consulting, email marketing, and also the banking. So, and then we have a very good sharing section, which help how our ecosystem PayPayTone service can help the Hong Kong SME to solve their cross-border daily pain point solutions. Plus, we also share about how our GJP65 can help the customers to do the business matching, and then in the daily business to help them to extend the lead generation. Therefore, as a coordinator, Hong Kong, we facilitates the cross-border trade in the digital era in both areas, just like this picture, because today we have America, and then we have ASEAN and Hong Kong together. But actually, we are the website, we connect all the customers together. And then, which means that no wonder the customers, you are coming from Hong Kong, coming from North America, ASEAN, Europe, Africa, South America, Mexico, etc., and then EU, British, and then North Asia, Japan, Korea, India, Taiwan. They are all of our customers. As long as you have international cross-border B2B trading needs, and then it will be a good platform for you. And then also, it is no wonder you are import or export. It is also we are the platform for both importer, exporter customers to come to our website. No geographical limitation, which doesn't mean that, hey, I don't have any business opportunities with Hong Kong. And then never mind, because we have the customers, we have the supplier, we have the buyers from US, we have the buyers from Europe, even though you are the Indonesian customers, which is focused on the US or European market, that will case for you. Or if you would like to develop the new market, also our platform will be a good opportunities for all of you to develop your B2B cross-border business. Thank you very much. This is my presentation.
Thank you, Stanley. Thank you for presenting such a comprehensive ecosystem and also such a convenient platform to us. All right, thank you for everybody, amazing speech and great discussion here. And now we are gonna move to the audience Q&A. We have some questions here, but we are still waiting for more. So everyone can feel free to leave your question in the chat box. Here are a few smart persons here to answer your questions. Maybe while collecting the question, I got a question to April. Like, for the consulting service, which country are most frequent to ask for consultancy, like getting into Indonesia or other ASEAN countries?
For us, because we focus very much on FMCG and affordable luxury products, Indonesia is the one that is that has got more traction from companies from Hong Kong, China, Middle East, and North America. And then the second market would be Singapore or Malaysia. But this is purely based on our clients' interests. And again, it really depends on what you sell and what the market landscape look like. So we will not just recommend one single market because of where we are. We will look at it from a regional perspective, including Hong Kong.
Great, thank you, April. We got a question from our social media, and it is a question for Dorothy. Yeah. He asked, which region of ASEAN countries are you interested in? Like, what kind of product are you especially interested in? Like, what is IMC target? And then, yeah, like, which part of ASEAN countries you feel interested?
Well, our focus is on home furnishings and gift. And so the countries that typically have performed well in the US include those that are able to produce home furnishings using teak and bamboo and other natural wood sources. Similarly, any decorative accessories. Someone I think in the chat had asked about woven baskets and decorative baskets. Those perform very well in the US. Piece goods, so you know, anything involving piecework from the apparel standpoint or the textile standpoint will perform well in the US. And typically products that have some sort of indigenous design or unique design elements are going to perform well in the US. And provenance is going to be very important in the US. So it's today very important to the US consumer. And as a result of that, from the B2B trade side, for buyers to understand where the product comes from. So fair trade is also a very, very important consideration when trying to enter the US market.
Thank you, Dorothy. And then one more question for April. He asked, like, how can Indonesia stand out from the ASEAN countries, like, for example, Thailand or Vietnam? What does like Indonesia most talented in, or like, because he know Indonesia is the sourcing center, and then, but apart from that, what can Indonesia further do more?
That's a very interesting question, and I would say talents. The type of talents we've been hiring Indonesian teammates, colleagues, and during this process, I noticed that what is so great about Indonesian young talents is that their digital knowledge and skills is of quite a high level in general. And second thing is that Indonesia also has a more diverse market from the market point of view. The first tier, second tier, third tier city could actually be seen as separate markets in terms of the behavior, the pricing that consumers would accept. In terms of religion is also very diverse when everyone thinks that only halal food would work here is actually not. So these social structure of diversity from races, religion, province, geography point of view make the market offer a lot more opportunities to any type of products. I would say this is the strongest point of Indonesia plus the talents.
Okay, great. Thank you, April. And one question is to Stanley, because you have mentioned that many districts can enter to G-Trade 365 website, but is there any limitation or any restriction?
Okay, thank you, Avis. And as I mentioned from the last page, and then we do not have any limitations from our customers. As long as you have cross-border opportunities or you would like to develop your cross-border B2B business, and then I think that G-Trade 365 is one of the marketplace you can come. And then no wonder, say Hong Kong, Greater China, ASEAN, US, Russia, British, EU, Africa, Mexico, Canada, etc., etc. We are the actual real place for all the customer can connect together. So we do not have any limitations.
Okay, thank you, Stanley. And one more question from the chat box to Stanley. She would like to know what industry or customer can be found on G-Trade 365 website.
Okay, regarding the industry and then the products, of course, my only answer is the products must be legal products. Okay, if the products are illegal or with any limitations, of course we will not entertain. Otherwise, and then for F&B, for agriculture, for machinery, for example, we have machinery customers, even the large scale of the machinery. We have the worldwide customers. We have sausage customers. We have beauty customers, and then we have some business. Light oil and machinery oil customers, and then most of our current customers are coming from different F&B platform events, and then some of our customers are coming from home applicants, etc. So, and then regarding the category, that is very open, and then we do not have any limitation as long as the products must be legal.
Thank you, Stanley. And one question to the ASEAN representative. Do we need to consider geopolitical risk in ASEAN countries?
So is it to April or?
Yeah, I think April maybe help to answer the question. Do the client need to consider geopolitical risk in ASEAN countries?
I would say yes, that is the risk that basically as business owners, we need to consider in any market, including other parts of the world. But I think at the moment, or looking at the past 5 years, ASEAN in general, except maybe Myanmar, other countries have been in pretty stable situation. Indonesia specifically, the current president is on his second term and he might continue for a third term. I think this is also beneficial to maintaining a stable political environment. So I would say risks are always there, but we don't see imminent risks that would affect foreign investment or business owners. And of course, the last remarks is it depends on what you do. If you're in natural resources related infrastructure, that might have more volatility. But if you're in consumer products, e-commerce, I think that won't be affected too much.
Thank you, April. Because time is running short, we will still have 2 more questions here. And I think this question is for April too. Indonesia is moving its capital to Kalimantan, right? So what is your advice for investment focus in Indonesia? Should we look into the new capital as compared to Jakarta?
Yeah, that's a very good question. I think, first of all, the moving capital is a very long-term project. It might not even happen in the next 10 years because of the scale of that. So if you're looking for very long-term opportunities, yes, you should consider Kalimantan. At the moment, there are a lot of projects going on there, particularly relating to infrastructure, for example, the highway, train, electricity, and whatnot, and also renewable energy. And the concept of the new capital is that all vehicles will be EV, electric vehicles. So that brings a lot of business opportunities to relating services. And some industries, sectors and manufacturers will also move there. And so eventually maybe food delivery, e-commerce, convenience store, traditional trades would also benefit. But then again, these are very long term. If you're thinking of doing something now, Jakarta is still the capital, not just politically, but for a lot of business resources, the network, the ecosystem are built around Jakarta. And I think maybe let's not limit our thinking to just expand in one city. And because even if you have a base in Jakarta, you could easily connect with the resources in other provinces. Same like what I do, I'm based in Bali, but what we do covers the whole Indonesia. So I think it depends on what you do. And if you would like to know more about how things work specifically for your company, feel free to connect us.
Thank you, April. And last question is to Dorothy. Which geographical regions in North America have greater potential in cross-border business in the future?
I just typed it into the chat. I wasn't sure if we'd have time, but for the US, the coastal regions will offer the greatest potential. So that would be the Pacific Northwest, the Southwest, and that encompasses California as well. And then the Northeast, particularly the tri-state region of New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut, and the Southeast with particular concentration on the Carolinas, Georgia, and Florida. The heaviest concentration of IMC's retail customers are based in these regions, and those seem to be the regions that are the most open to cross-border trade.
Thank you, Dorothy. Thank you for the sharing of all of you. Time is running short. The remaining questions will be replied through email. If you have any question afterward, please feel free to send us through email as well. I hope you can get some insight from the speech and discussion in this webinar to help you to penetrate different markets. With the actions and efforts of different parties, the development of digital trade of ASEAN countries, Hong Kong, and North America can be enhanced later on. Thank you once again for your coming today. Thank you all of the panelists today as well. See you in the next G-Trade 365 webinar. Thank you.
Thank you, Dorothy. Thank you, April. Thank you, Brian and Andrew. Have a nice evening and have a nice day.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.